Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. It's the answer told by lines that stretched around schools and churches in numbers this nation has never seen. By people who waited 3 hours, 4 hours, many for the first time in their lives, because they believed that this time must be different, that their voices could be that difference.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
No más años, no semanas. Los hermanos y amigos. Revolución. ¿Verdad? Es muy fácil. Sí, es muy fácil. Cántame. Escucha. 1, 2, 3. Si se puede, amigos, hermanos. Nosotros somos americanos. Tengo la camisa negra and I work at Olive Garden. Tengo la camisa negra, it's a subsidy of Darden. All the corporations during this COVID-19 pandemic, they extracted the wealth and they're so fucking monolithic. Come on, baby. Tengo la camisa negra. We are the working class. Blue collar is so fantastic. Si se puede. Principles and values, si se puede. Más honor. Life and liberty, so fantastic. We're united when we're amor. Si se puede. Principles and values, si se puede. Más honor. Que te tengo la camisa negra. Blue collar, más honor. Come on, baby. Tengo la camisa negra. Get the courage on your shoulders. We will start a revolution. Tengo la camisa negra. And I have some soups and salads. Waiter is the 213 wage. Capitalist standards. Venga, baby. Dale, amigos. Taxing all the rich in this country. We are all equals. Tengo la camisa negra. Yo soy americano. Tengo la camisa negra. Constitution and the Bible. Mi hermanos y amigos. Sí, sueño. Muy sueño. Más hambre. Bueno. Income inequality. Más redistribución. Ay, papi, no. Ay, mami, no. Más años, más semanas. Sí, no. Todos. Ahora, revolución. Viva los hermanos y amigos. Arriba. Ay. Sí, se puede. Todos. La revolución. We the people. Más revolución. Tengo la camisa negra. Freedom reigns in all our nations. Si se puede. Principles and values. Si se puede. Más honor. Independent and free thinking. Unique minds. I do amor. Si se puede. Más honor and si se puede. Principles and values. Si se puede. The people. Yes, we can, guys. So come on, baby. Tengo la camisa negra. Tengo la camisa blue, azul, de working class amigos. Tengo la camisa negra. And return the power to the people. Dale, Tommy Nation Politics. Se puede bring real change, amigos. Come on, baby. We the people united. 13 colonies, our heritage. So excited. Venga conmigo to Revolution United. Free thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded. Tommy Nation Politics. Hi guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. Thank you for joining me on my Tommy Nation Tuesday live stream. We're talking about real change, not campaign slogans, not talking points, not CIA buzzwords, not Nancy Pelosi's wine lists, not Chuck Schumer's Iron Dome for Israel. We're talking about real change, guys. Change we can believe in. I hope you guys could bear with me as I take you down a memory lane of change that was never came to be. But first I have to tell you guys one other thing. This is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. We're free-thinking, innovative, open-minded, new, progressive, independent media. You can find us here at www.tommynationpolitics.com. Or you can hit us at our Facebook page, facebook.com/TommyNationPolitics. Always willing to talk to people who are free-thinking, innovative, and open-minded. The revolution, like Bernie Sanders said, starts not when he was inaugurated, but continues. And that's what progressives need to be saying. I'll be saying it, and so will my guests. So I have Jay Levi on the show. The last time we talked about George Floyd and the riots and the curfews and how that was super ironic. The Democrats were making grasps for power. Little did we know that they would try to envelop and destroy the Republican Party with their January 6th rhetoric altogether. I thought they were going to coalesce and marry just like they did in the Bernie Sanders primaries. But I'm asked Jay what he thinks about that. But first, guys, let's just get a little talk about change. Let's just get refreshed about what change isn't.
It's the answer that led those who've been told for so long by so many to be cynical and fearful and doubtful about what we can achieve, to put their hands on the arc of history and bend it once more toward the hope of a better day. It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America. I first moved to Chicago before any of the students in this room were born. And a whole lot of people who were in the audience remember me from those days. I lived in a community on the south side, right up the block, but I also worked further south where communities had been devastated by some of the steel plants closing. My job was to work with churches and lay people and local leaders to rebuild neighborhoods and improve schools and help young people who felt like they had nowhere to turn. And those of you who work with Reverend Love, you remember it wasn't easy. Progress didn't come quickly. Sometimes I got so discouraged I thought about just giving up. But what kept me going was the belief that with enough determination and effort and persistence and perseverance, change is always possible.
And remember, guys, that change happened when there was no red states or blue states, but one Democratic Party to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them with fees on not having health care and 8 foreign wars and Wall Street bailouts. That was the change that tirelessly gave us. And also cracking the heads of peaceful protesters occupy Wall Street, gassing Native Americans, guys. You'd think a black president, first black president, wouldn't be gassing Native Americans. Also, never forget when he did a beer summit when Trayvon Martin was killed. I think we give a shit, though, Barack Obama. That's not going to be the change we're doing. Jay, what change do you think we should be doing, bro? What's going on with you, bro? Welcome back to the Tommy Nation Politics. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be back on the show. As far as change goes, in a lot of senses, like you were saying earlier, it's important to define what change isn't. And what change isn't is a series of token gestures that are made by Democrats who've been in charge and have been, placated by Republicans for, many years in these like symbolic, tokenistic gestures. Like, you said that me and you haven't spoken since, during the protests a couple summers ago. And, it feels cool to be back on, since then. But there hasn't really been anything effectual that's happened, like I have been out of politics a little bit and more like my music stuff with my girlfriend. But the last time I checked, we had control over most factors of government And why even bother fighting Republicans when you can have people like Joe Manchin and senators from Arizona basically just be as transparently Republican as they possibly can. So, what...
And they literally asked him.
Yeah.
They asked him, on CNN, are you going to be still going to be a Democrat? Are you going to change? He said no. We don't believe in the Green New Deal stuff, that crazy stuff. Oh, the Green New Deal! Saving of our planet for pollution, it's crazy, man. So crazy.
Yeah, well...
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Well, there's not really any... if you think about the way that Congress and the government in general is currently laid out, like the Green New Deal flies in the face of all lobby groups, in the face of everything it means to be an oil and gas nation, and especially an oil and gas driven hemisphere overall, because it's just like, you have to consider also, like, when we are basically one of the world's leaders, for lack of a better term, and people look to us as an industry, like there are other countries that have utilized things like the Green New Deal, but they are visionary leaders on a world stage, air quotes. So if we were to do those sort of things, like, it would create such a paradigmatic shift to where, like, the rest of the world, I think, aside from, like, some of the developed, nations that were held back by colonialism and are currently now making the most of fossil fuels, like China and India. And it's not really our place to tell them how to do their things. At least I don't feel like it's my place. But if we... I
mean, they're telling us though. China's always talking about talking shit about us.
I don't want to do this at 3 a.m. because I keep losing my train of thought. But
that's not
good. Like, no, you're good. But what change isn't is apparently it's not voting for Democrats because it's like we're always told that these are the avenues that we're supposed to pursue to actually have tangible factors of change we can hold in our hands. And like I feel kind of sold out. That like what was the bill for? We got $600.
So remember this, Jay. Exactly for 2 months. Are you not entertained? So basically, this is what happened, bro. They were gonna do the minimum wage, but the Senate parliamentarian, because they didn't get any Republican votes for the COVID relief bill. Did you know that? They got none. And Kristen Sinema voted against it. They still have the votes. But they took it out because the Senate parliamentarian. I mean, literally, and how are people still not? They still think they're different, these parties. You think that they're going to use the filibuster? You think the Republicans are going to use the filibuster on this Build Back Better Act now? That it's been gutted? No, bro. This filibuster was just in case Bernie Sanders slipped some fucking paid leave of that shit. That was what it's for. Now they're in accord. 13 Republicans voted for their stupid bill. Oh my God, pisses me off. And then they think it's different. How is it different? Well, how's the Green New Deal socialism when you have 13 Republicans that cross over the other side and vote for your stupid, not infrastructure, influence? Your ass kissing with China, your piss, what is it called? Piss contest? Yeah, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't give a shit about Kim Jong-un or Taiwan or his bullshit. Stupid, you are inadequate. You do not know math, Joe Biden. I don't give a shit about his insults. He's an autocrat. We shouldn't be even looking to him. We should be ignoring these guys. They're not even Democratic Republics, bro. Why do we care? No, but Joe Biden's got to have that $1.2 trillion so we can fucking show Kim Jong-un I can do infrastructure too. We all know China's not doing infrastructure. Those work camps are not work camps. And the Uyghurs are being fucking eliminated, bro. They're doing war crimes. Just like we used to back in 2008. Are we still doing them? Probably.
If you look at some the way that some people are treated at ICE facilities, you'd see a lot of similarities in the treatment of Uyghur Muslims by Xi Jinping's dynasty versus compared to like what's happening here by our own tax-funded government workers who are on the border, treating people inhumanely every single day. So it's honestly kind of a fun diversionary tactics that centrists like to do. But like, I understand, and I don't want to downplay what is happening in the plight of the Uyghur Muslims, but it is a fun ploy to take attention away from the abuses of our government toward ethnic minorities, even though China's doing the same thing to their religious minorities over there. I don't know if you see the parallel I'm getting at. Like I said, it's 3 a.m. and I'm just so tired. So,
don't forget, Jay, that we're still whipping Haitians with whips and the border. Okay, so we're almost like China. We're almost there. Okay, Joe? If it makes you happy, we're almost like China, a communist country. Joe. I don't know, bro. This is the thing that probably confuses right-wingers, bro. Because they look at Joe talking about how Kim Jong-un's so amazing, and then they're like, what is this guy? No, he's just a fucking corrupt dirtbag, douchebag. But here's what Mitch McConnell said today. This is interesting. Start. Buffering!
Our own party urged me to Senate for our own party's short-term gain. My answer was, I'm said that the legislative filibuster, quote, would be the end of the Senate as it was originally devised, created, going back to the problem.
Oh my god.
Now he wants the Senate to end.
Oh! They're saying so! No! No!
Well, Democrats were in the minority. To them, signed a letter demanding the legislative filibuster stay in place.
So, this guy, I'm sorry I had to show that to you, because I know he's a human garbage pile, and he's a slow turtle talker. I'm pretty sure that put you to sleep. But if you just realize what he's saying the same thing that Chuck Schumer said about the filibuster, and they're not gonna drop the filibuster, and it's because the founding fathers, bro. You know, the founding fathers didn't make the Senate rules, bro. They were dead. So I don't know what he's talking about. This fucking cup of saucer of democracy. It sounds like some rich shit. That's all I can think of. Our saucer of democracy is a saucer? What do you think? Is democracy a kitten saucer? Is it delicate like this? It's like my kitty saucer. Fucking, like, the way they talk, bro, they're out of touch as fuck, bro. I don't get anything they're saying. They're keeping the filibuster. Why?
I feel like the filibuster is sort of just like a pedantic way of like obstructing anything that you just don't like. Like, I don't know, like we live in such like a status quo ass society where it's like
yes.
Okay. I don't understand the point of debating with these fucking people anymore. That's all the filibuster is that, like, it allows people who already have the privilege of leveraging the concept of civility at each other in a way to cudgel and impede any sort of real change, which you stated as sort of like the underlying premise here is that like change is disguised, it's masqueraded as something real, but really there are just so many weapons at all of our government leaders' disposal to like hamper in any real way, and that's all the filibuster really is. It's just like a really shitty, well, it's not shitty, it's really effective, but you know, a really vacuous, unoriginal attempt to just, like I said before, leverage your privilege.
Said it better. Literally, you said it perfectly. You literally did. The only reason they have the filibuster and the Senate rules and their bullshit Senate parliamentarian is because they don't want anything to change. So, is there any other way I could pound this out so, like, the idiot partisans that are going to watch accidentally can understand that? Any other way I can say it? Should I say it? Take a look! Any other way?
Has there been change posited as a positive thing, really? Like, what was the last time that okay, not in an election cycle, when is the last time that change has been, like, postured as a positive thing by really any politician? Because Republicans, obviously, like, change isn't even in their playbook. Like, Donald Trump is very left field with a lot of his ideas.
That's conservatives, yeah.
Exactly. Like,
tradition, not change.
Yeah, tradition over change, like, you know, status quo over progress.
So I want to ask you a question, really.
Actually, bro, I want to recant what I just said. We should honestly be communicating with them because, like, they have so many important working class people in their party who would benefit from our policies and our philosophies and ideologies, but they've been fucking taken from us by focus groups and propaganda, by the fucking Heritage Foundation
and racists.
Yes, dude.
They took your jobs.
Bro, I don't want to fucking look down on Republicans, and I don't want to look down on conservatives because really, man, they are our blue-collar brothers that we need to have with us on our side, man.
Amen.
They've literally just been taken away by white-collar, shitty, lanyard-class corporate America to be their foot soldiers.
It's sad, man.
And they don't fucking deserve it because they put in so much work, honestly. Like, they're such a proletariat contribution in unprecedented ways. And one thing, and this is shitty libs trying to get to us also, because it's not in the leftist mind or position to deride and speak down to conservatives, because they do provide complete... Sorry, I just got a text. They do provide important utility in every facet of this country, but due to like years of brainwashing since World War II, like ever since they came back from the war, there's been deliberate efforts by the Heritage Foundation,
yes,
by research institutes, by so many think tanks to try to keep the corporate classes in power. And the way you keep the corporate classes in power is by having people in the way. They literally use economic human shields, and these people fill those slots for them, and they don't fucking deserve that. Due to economic mental conditioning, they have been trained now to appreciate individualism and singularity and ruggedness over collectivism. So like once upon a time, the conservative philosophy did foster something to the effect of nationalism, but that's now been alienated because capitalism and the economic systems that have encouraged them to be individualistic have superseded that. So now that is how the guarantee no progress gets made. Because if there's one thing Republicans are actually good at, man, it's fucking mobilizing.
Yes.
It's being lockstep, monolithic towards a goal, and when they have that goal, they fucking get it done. So that's why they need to placate their populace by convincing them like the only time you should rally together is when it's going to be something fucking stupid that we can kick back to the Supreme Court or Congress and they'll kill it anyways. Like the Muslim ban. Got them all rallied together, and as soon as it went to Trump's very court judges, they were like, no, that's stupid. Like, we're literally not even like Kavanaugh and Cohen were literally just like, oh, I literally have to adjudicate on that? Well, of course the answer is no. There's no judicial precedent for any of this.
Yeah.
Or the things with the wall. As soon as that gets kicked back to a Republican Congress, they're like, why would I put money towards that?
Why would exactly?
I'm fiscally frugal. I'm fiscally I'm not gonna buy this. So. But
how did they even? God, I'm sorry. I'm doing it for you. I have so many questions though, because you really like sparking my mind. How did they even? How did they rule on Brown versus Board of Education again? Because our Supreme Court has always been conservative, bro.
I think it was 1954, and like that was the thing that I think it overturned Plessy Ferguson, which was the separate versus equal one.
Yeah.
But really, the only reason why they did that, and honestly, man, this is one of the things too where like Kamala Harris was like bullshitting Joe Biden, because like Brown v. Board of Education was bad. Like, and that does not mean that desegregating schools was bad, but it was done too fast. They literally, if you were a black educator in 1955, you were unemployed. You dedicated your entire life to educating your own community because it had been obstructed by you. You overcame every sort of obstacle that was in the way, and all of a sudden you don't have a job anymore because
that's true.
Literally, African American kids are now going to be busted into these all white.
And also, white kids are going to be busting in neighborhoods they have no idea. And you're right. It was all done too fast and literally haphazardly.
These stupid fucking centrists and libs honestly do too with these like gotcha games, because like they could take me and you saying this in a clip and just take me saying Brown v. Board of Education was bad and be like, look what like Kamala did to Joe Biden the thing, because like he actually.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm just kidding.
But whenever she was talking about how busing was going to be bad, and she was just like, the little girl on
that was me. Yeah. I said I did a great job making fun of that shit. It was like, I'm a cool auntie.
Yeah, and she was so financially insulated to a lot of these ramifications. But imagine you're like a black kid getting on one of those buses, going into school that literally used to vote that people like you weren't people.
Right.
And now you're being forced.
Right.
And like, dude, there's compulsory.
You get it, bro. You get it.
Yeah, compulsory attendance laws are forced on children too. So like, you're a black kid or a white kid who doesn't feel safe going to one of those schools, you're targeted for going to one of those schools, too bad. You go there or we'll put your parents in jail.
I would not be standing here were it not for the education I received. And I know many of us will say the same thing. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. And this is what we did. We recognized that in that initiative, as a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. The school district has got a carrot. Let's work in tandem around our collective objective and goal, which is to get those kids in school. So, to that end, on my letterhead, now let me tell you something about my letterhead. When you're the DA of a major city in this country, usually the job comes with a badge. And there is often an artistic rendering of said badge on your stationery. So I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district, outlining the connection that was statistically proven between elementary school truancy, high school dropouts, who will become a victim of crime, and who will become a perpetrator of crime. We sent it out to everyone. A friend of mine actually called me and he said, Kamala, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
So it's made me think of two things. Bernie Sanders says we should have a government that works for all of us and not the few. But we've had a government that works for the few for so long, it doesn't work well. All of these social safety nets that FDR made up with the New Deal are now eroded. And every new program that comes out is a failure by design because the Democrats are really a right-wing party. So that's what frustrates me the most about the Democratic Party is that they lie to your face, they pretend to like these policies, but they'll never be caught on the record supporting these policies because Nancy Pelosi will never put Medicare up for a vote. Joe Biden said he'll veto Medicare for all as soon as, if it even passes the Senate, he'll veto it. So, you know, I got Joe Manchin who literally says I'm a Republican. I'm just trying to fuck up the Democratic Party. Joe Biden is on the right, trying to veto Medicare for all. Nancy Pelosi is trying to destroy any progressive anything. She's the one who gutted that fucking bill, bro. When you went to the House, the Build Back Better Act, she took a hold of it. She took out everything, bro. She sent it back to the Senate just like that. So how are they not working for this, bro?
She was ripping up Trump's speech. That was just her practicing for every piece of beneficial legislation that would ever come across her desk.
Literally, we're gonna pass it soon. I don't give a shit if you pass it. You took everything out that would matter to me. You took out everything that mattered to me. Oh, the rest is for your donors, so I'm sure you'll pass it, assholes.
If you're not in the donor class, if you're not a lobbyist, I don't expect them to ever do anything that's gonna effectuate any sort of change in our life. Dude, the fucking breadcrumbs metaphor has never felt so evident, and that I was given $600 and my student loans were deferred, not canceled, not lowered, deferred for a series of time just so I could pay it back later.
They were sending mail all the time. Did you get mail? They were sending me mail the whole time. Hey, we got just a few more months. Don't forget to pay. We have a beautiful time. It's like I'm on the Jimmy Fallon show. Bro, so, literally, 2024 though? 2032? 2038? Are you saying you like Trump, Jay? Are you saying you like Trump? How do you do with that?
Because if you don't like Democrats, it means you like Trump, even though he couldn't be less relevant in any.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, when I see people please, dude, oh my god, man. I just don't even understand how anyone is still frazzled about anything that they're doing at all. They're so impotent. Yesterday, or no, a couple days ago, I took my girlfriend to this Van Gogh exhibit. It was over in Dallas. We were driving there. It was on January 6th, and you just see these motherfuckers standing on the overpasses, holding up these signs saying January 6th is a hoax. You know, we're gonna rise up. All this really platitude. Go get them, coach bullshit.
I hope we do rise up, but for real.
Wow, this is the impotence that you guys are left with. I mean, they were like half-hearted to begin with, but like, you know, now they're just like completely like, they're just cucked out, and like it's kind of.
It's because we're not working together for the common good, bro. We were supposed to work with the right wing. That's why they're lost, and that's why we're virtue signaling a dystopian future. Whether we take COVID so seriously, we're gonna let Joe Biden do whatever it takes, anything, because Trump, he played it down. Did you see that? Mr. Acosta said he's the enemy of people. Yeah, so we're going to take COVID so seriously. We're going to take COVID so seriously that we're all going to be handmaids. We're going to rape your daughters. But no COVID, right? Like, literally, bro, this is the start to the Handmaid's Tale. I just want to let you know. But they take COVID seriously, though. Like, the virtue signaling is out of control, bro. The virtue signaling is out of control from the liberals. The virtue signaling and the dumbassery of the right wing going to an insurrection, not doing anything but taking a laptop and a fucking mail sign. Are you serious, guys? That's why we should have been there together, though. Because we could have maybe gotten our house back. If the left had guillotines, the right had their brute force and their gut instinct, like Bush said.
I don't want to get hate mail, but you know, it's just like I think that I don't think that our elected officials should be in physical danger, but I do think that they should be operating in their jobs under the supposition that they should be afraid of losing things, because all of us live every single day with the fear that we could fucking lose shit. We don't live with the fear that insurrectionists will break into our house and fart in our chairs and try to kill us with a guillotine or whatever. But we live with the fear of losing absolutely every sort of social safety net we have, every material benefit we have being slowly chipped away, and they don't have any sort of those things to fear about in even a modicum capacity.
They got a TikTok account, and someday somebody's gonna do a reenactment of AOC in the room. Be scared.
I'm grateful that these pampered, lanyard-wearing motherfuckers experience what fear is like.
Yeah.
For people who live in Chicago, for people who live in Detroit, for people who live in Democrat-run cities who have been promised change, to recap what we were talking about before, I'm glad they experience the sheer terror that those people have internalized and learned to just stomach with a rugged sense of, veracity that these elected officials couldn't ever fucking have, dude. You think people who went to fucking Dartmouth and Yale know what it feels like to be afraid? But now they fucking do, because someone who actually had, dude, you can, call those people cowards all you want, and, now I kind of feel like,
This is the only thing they have to win the midterms, bro. So, this is the only thing they have. They didn't govern.
Who's that fucking obnoxious guy? Bill Maher. So, in 2002, Bill Maher said in 2002 that the people who did 9/11, you can call them what they want, but they weren't cowards. Because it's more cowardly to be an American soldier shooting a cruise missile, which was the early 2000s version of a drone strike, that it took more courage to do that. It takes more courage to be in a plane until it blows up than it is to shoot a cruise missile, is what Bill Maher said. He lost his job on a show called Politically Incorrect. Ironically, doing that for being politically incorrect.
Right.
I sort of feel like him in that regard, because it's sort of dude, AOC's not brave for crying and then making a video about being scared, but, Sally Sue, who literally ran into the Capitol, her being a sniveling little pig and crying because she's on a no-fly list, that is cowardly. But the fact they went in because of something they believed in, that is, so much more courageous than anything that any congressman who's been in since Citizens United got passed in 2008, more courageous than anything any of those fuckers have ever done.
Oh yes, I mean, they're all known for fundraising, locking themselves in rooms of days on end, calling rich people, begging them for money, and then taking their bills from their own letterhead, like Verizon, and running them through the Congress. And not even taking the letterhead off of the corporate bills. So these, I'm so glad that your eyes are open. And bro, I'm so glad you came on the show, because you just enunciated the frustration that I've been feeling so well, bro. These people have never felt fear. They don't feel fear. They felt fear once, and that's why they're curtailing our civil liberties and continuously dividing us and smearing the right wing. I feel bad for them guys. I feel the Russian Steele dossier, not true. Mueller report, he's a liar. told me he did a conspiracy to try to stop Trump from winning the election with Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. These people, everybody they find is even dirtier than Trump is. So it's just fucking funny, and I'm not fooled by these guys. They all should pay the price. And I mean, I'm not gonna go into detail, but they should feel the fear of the American people every single day.
They should never be, no American citizen, whether you're a government official or if you're just a lay person, should ever experience the concept of them that they might have their physical well-being jeopardized. However, I think it is imperative that they experience that fear, and I hope they remember what that's like, and that they can experience a metaphorical, analogous, or sort of like parallel feeling toward their bureaucratic comfort as they did toward their fear of physical danger. I hope that they're able to keep that. I know they won't, and it's fucking impossible.
I know.
Because they're fucking lizard people. So, like, why would they be able to, like, do that? Like, lizards only...
Then we might have changed, though. Yeah.
What?
We might have changed. We might...
Something's happening out there. A feeling. Call it hope. That our country can move in a new direction. That the future is something to look forward to, not fear. If that's what you're feeling, you may have noticed something else. You're not alone.
The change is coming, okay? Mr. Clinton just said that. I mean, he was right though with the Corporations Telecommunications Act.
Do you watch South Park at all?
I love South Park, bro. It's a true story.
Okay, do you know the Game of Thrones, like, three-parter of South Park?
Oh, no, I don't remember, but I'm sure I watched it.
So there's this trope in there where it's back in 2011, so Game of Thrones was still, like, being actively written. And the trope is that George R.R. Martin is always telling people that the dragons are on their way. You know, and the people are like, where are the dragons in the book? And he's like, don't worry, they're coming. And then with, like, that spirals into everything else when, like, he's ordering a pizza for everyone. And they're like, where's the pizza, George? He's like, don't worry, it's on its way.
I believe that anybody that's able to work ought to work and ought to have a chance to work. And I don't think we'll ever have a solution to our present economic woes as long as we've got 8.5 or 9 million people out of jobs that are looking for jobs, another 2 or 3 million that have given up hope of getting work, and another 1.5 million on welfare that never have worked but are fully able to work full time.
If you want to put America back to work, vote for Jimmy Carter, a leader for a change.
So is this fucking book.
That's democratic change, though. Like, that's literally how it is. It's just like,
yes.
As long as it's always on the precipice, on the horizon, as long as it's being conveyor belted to you, it's a labyrinth mentality. It's a labyrinth mentality.
It's Pavlov, right? Pavlov conditioning. So the reason they have to do these change things so much is because they lose amazingly. They just get destroyed because they're incompetent at governing. And they're not FDR. Even though they tout FDR, they're not the party of FDR. That ship has sailed, guys. They don't want to do anything FDR did, bro. They literally paid Joe Manchin to not.
Dude, they won't even put Japanese people in camps or stop Jewish people from getting into the country. They helped rebuild Japan and give money to Israel. That was a joke. But,
well, I mean, like, literally, these guys, I'm tired of, do you know what the Trump tax cuts passed, and the Senate parliamentarians said this could clause income inequality? Mitch McConnell and Trump said, you're fired, Senate parliamentarian. Joe Biden, the Senate parliamentarians, this guy's, take out minimum wage. Oh, it sounds like your agenda. That sounds like your agenda that you really fight hard for. If I was the party leader of the Democratic Party and I was president, there would not be Joe Manchin, there would not be a Senate parliamentarian, there would not be a filibuster, and there would definitely not be a Nancy Pelosi. It's another story, guys. But maybe someday, guys, change will come. This was Jay Levi, friend of the show, and hopefully soon-to-be co-host of Tommy Nation Politics. I'm just kidding. He's a musician, bro.
Real Clear Politics average of all the polls now shows Bernie Sanders leading Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire by more than 12 points. So Mrs. Clinton deployed her most powerful weapon to the Granite State, her husband, Bill, who insists that his wife is the real change maker.
She does stuff. And she knows when to stand her ground and when
to find common ground. You're never going to have a chance to vote for somebody who is better prepared for the demands of this time.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. It's the answer told by lines that stretched around schools and churches in numbers this nation has never seen, by people who waited 3 hours, 4 hours, many for the first time in their lives, because they believed that this time must be different, that their voices could be that difference. It's the answer spoken by young and old, rich and poor, Democrat and Republican, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, gay, straight, disabled and not disabled, Americans who sent a message to the world that we have never been just a collection of individuals or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always will be the United States of America.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?